Hi, this is Eleanor Wyatt with the Binji Ministries and my partner in Uganda, Musumba Julius. And we wanted to bring you guys an update. We've got a lot of medical things going on, and we want to ask your prayers for provision and for healing for several people. And I asked Musumba to join me so we could give you a brief update on each of the people. So thanks for joining me, Musumba. I know it's late night there, but appreciate you making the
Yeah,
effort.
thank you as well. Yeah.
All right. Let me begin. We'll just start this. I think you see a picture of Cyprian. He's a young boy that we've been sharing about on our ministry page on Facebook. Musumba and I learned about him back on June 18th when his mother, one of the widows in Belonga Village, shared how he had collapsed just walking home from school several days prior. And we went by to check on him. And what we discovered is this little 13-year-old boy had a stroke. He's got an aneurysm in his brain. And we first brought him to Jinja, and they quickly transferred him to a neurologist in Kampala, where he remains now, about 3 weeks after we first learned about this. Musumba, you have talked to the doctors, and they've told you he needs surgery. Where does that surgery need to be done?
The surgery is supposed to be taken from Kenya, Nairobi, in Aga Khan Hospital. Here in Uganda, it can't be done because we don't have the expertise to do it.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
And with the surgery and the expenses, we are looking at around $40,000 to save this little boy's life. And in the meantime, he is in the hospital in Kampala. He has about $7,500 outstanding medical cost just in the hospital in Kampala. They are moving him to a government hospital, which will cost significantly less while we're waiting on the Lord to either heal him or for the Father to move and make provision for the $40,000 for surgery. Samba has been taking care of him and checking on him and his mother multiple times. I believe you're going back there tomorrow.
Yes, I'm going back there tomorrow. Yeah, in the city.
And he's going to oversee getting Cyprian transferred from the existing hospital to the government hospital. But we desperately need about $7,500 to settle his medical bill. And we're praying for a miracle. So we invite you to pray with us about him. Another need, there is a young mother in Bulonge Village, Alice. Her mother, excuse me, her husband beat her while she was pregnant and contributed to her having a prolapsed uterus when she gave birth a couple of months ago. She's been in a lot of constant pain. There's been bleeding and other fluids that she's been dealing with since then. She urgently needs an exam. We had a gift enough to get an exam, but now we need another $500 for treatment for her. They showed she had a pelvic infection, I believe you said, Musumba.
Yeah, pelvic infection.
Yeah, and you brought okay, and you brought her into Jinja to the doctor. So we are asking for prayer, and we're asking for an additional $500 to help cover her medical expenses. She is one of our regular members of our Belonging congregation. She even has a little girl who's about 3 years old now, that she named Eleanor in honor of me. So she's a special lady and loves the Lord, and we're praying for her husband to get saved, but we're praying for Alice to get the care she needs before she gets really sick. All right. So please remember her. Another young mother that we've helped is a young woman named Vicky. Her grandfather is leader of the Calero congregation. And Vicky has some issues. She has sickle cell anemia, and it made her childbirth extremely difficult. And also because of the sickle cell anemia, she is unable to breastfeed the baby, Kyla Hope. So she needs to have regular checkups. And I believe Musumba, you said she's needing to come into town for another exam and follow up.
Because she and the baby, they need to see a doctor almost every month, so that they can also confirm if the baby is also a sickler. So she's
and she's due for the exam, and everything is approximately $300. So we are asking for provision for that so we can help this young mother. In addition, we have some help with baby formula since Vicky cannot breastfeed. We would love to find an additional sponsor that could help with about $60 a month for baby formula, so the baby can continue to grow. The baby's been in pretty good health, but we're not sure yet if she has sickle cell anemia or not. Correct? So we're okay. So if you would be praying for Vicky and her baby, and for provision there, and we'd also ask for healing for her. Okay. Next, want to share about Peruth. Sylvia, the young lady beside her, a lot of you have already followed her. She had a benign tumor on her eyelid and forehead, and she has had 3 surgeries now. Three. Taking the tumor off and reconstructing her eyelid. She's awaiting, she needs at least one more surgery that's going to be about 8,000 or 9,000, I think you said.
About 9,000.
About 9,000. In the meantime, her grandmother, Peruth, is blind and has cared for Sylvia since she was tiny. And now Sylvia helps care for her. And Peruth has been very sick for the last few weeks. She is been in a constant severe headaches and just very much incapacitated. And we have no money at the moment to get her to the doctor and get her treated. We are, Musamba, you're estimating about $800.
About 800, because she must be admitted in the hospital for some time because her situation is not good at all.
She is continuing to weaken, and
seizures also.
She's having seizures now. So please pray for Peruth. And if you would like to help this sweet grandmother, and we just ask that you would do whatever the Lord tells you to do. So she's another one. All right. Another young man, young person, Shaul. A lot of you guys followed. He was in a really bad motorcycle wreck back in January. He almost died. His lower right leg was totally crushed, and he has had reconstructive surgery on that. He's progressed pretty well. But he's still on crutches. And Musumba, you've told me they're ready to start physical therapy. But he needs to come in and have an exam. And each trip to town, because it's about an hour and a half drive, not a little less than that, Just with transport and everything's going to be about $100 each time he comes. He's going to need physical therapy for several weeks. So here too, we are praying for resources for Shaul to get the care he needs. He is a pastor's son in Namanduti village, and he is a beautiful Christian young man, loves the Lord and serves him well. So if you would keep praying for Shaul, and if you feel led to help him, please do so. Okay. We've got another gentleman. This man, his name is Paul, or Paul, as they say, and he is from Belonga village. He'd been coming for a few weeks. The first time he came, they brought him on a mat. He could not walk, and prayed for him and helped him with just a little bit of things. And then for the next couple of weeks, he was able to walk and stand, but the last time I was there, just before I left, he was getting weak again and could only lay on the mat. Please pray for Paul. We had a gift of about, I think, $400 to get him started with an exam. We're waiting on the doctor's report, but we are expecting that he's going to need some additional funds. So we would like to have at least another $300 to help whatever medicines or whatever. He had several things wrong with him, and he's just wasting away. He loves the Lord. He's laying there, he brought his Bible, but he needs your prayers and he needs healing. So please help as you see fit. Another regular from Belonga Village is our little boy, Brandon. I love this picture of him. He is 4 years old and has such a sweet spirit. His mother actually was widowed and married Kudoku, one of the young men in Belonga village. And Kudoko loves him like a son, and he brings him to the doctor. Brandon has a rare genetic condition called Fanconi Anemia, which means that his bone marrow does not produce red blood cells. And what that is requiring is regular transfusions and other treatments every month. And it's around $800 a month. Is that right, Musumba? For all the care that he needs.
It depends. It keeps on fluctuating.
But
it depends.
Yeah.
But now,
usually 600 to 800. Sometimes he's worse than others, but the whole thing is, this is the treatment he can get in Uganda is limited. The only known treatment, the only known cure is a bone marrow transplant, which means traveling internationally. There's only a handful of hospitals in the world that actually treat Fanconi anemia. So we're asking the Lord to heal him, but otherwise we need around $100,000 for treatment for a bone marrow transplant. His mother would have to travel with him. She would have to be the donor. Musumba would also need to travel because they speak no English. So we just ask your prayers for these guys. Brandon you couldn't ask for a sweeter child. And Kadoku is a wonderful dad to him and loves him and is working hard to care for him. Right now, Brandon, he'll get treatment and he'll do okay, and then it wears off and it's worn off. He's back in the hospital right now. And I believe you said we need around $800 this time to cover transfusions and medications and everything else with it. So please be praying for Brandon, and if you can help with his expenses, that would be wonderful. And if you can If you have any ideas of where to come up with $100,000 for life-saving surgery for this little boy, let us know.
Yeah, or if anyone knows about any hospital that can treat Fanconi anemia, please, we welcome.
Yeah, we in right now what I have found is in Germany, Turkey, and India, and the US are the only places that really treat it specifically. I think Johns Hopkins and Mayo Clinic up in Rochester, Minnesota, here in the US, are the best prospects. However, there's no financial aid that I can find, so that I have found yet. So that's another thing. If anybody has any suggestions for how we can do this, we'd like to save this little boy's life. Each treatment helps him, but it never gets him quite back up to where he was. And the doctors in Uganda are concerned that each time he goes through a cycle of treatment and then it wears off, he doesn't get back up to where he was the previous time. So he is gradually wearing down, and we want to see Brandon healed. And we ask you to pray with us, and any suggestions for sources, we would love to hear from you. So those are a lot of the specific things we've got. One last thing, is most of you know, we have about 22 orphans that are in our care that were from two of the ladies that we cared for who passed away, both of them from breast cancer. And there's a few extra people in this picture. This is the day we took them to go swimming. But these children, it's rainy season right now, and they really need malaria pills. Musumba can get the pills. They're a little less than $9 each. So for the 22 children, we need right at $200 to protect them. And that pill lasts for a month. We need for a total of 4 months. So we need $200 right now. And then we need another $600 to cover the next 3 months. It's a lot cheaper to give the pill and help them not get malaria than for them to get it and then have to get treatment. And a lot of times it has residual effects. So please pray for our orphans. And if you can help with one or all, for them to get malaria medicine so that they can stay healthy, we would really appreciate it. So, all right. So that kind of covers our medical needs. Musumba, do you have anything to add?
No, I just call upon whoever is watching this to pray for us and pray for all those people who are in the hospital, those who need hope. Please pray for them. And that's all I can talk now.
And I want to again say thank you, because each one of these people in the hospital, Musumba is usually the one who is the mediator. Most of these people come in from very remote villages, so a hospital environment is very scary and unfamiliar to them. And Musumba is like a mother hen, that he looks over them and he talks to all the doctors and tries to help coordinate all this. So a huge part of the Binji ministry, especially helping with medical needs, would not be taking place if it were not for you, Musumba, and the relationship you have with the doctors and the way you lovingly care for the people. So on behalf of the Binji ministry here in the US, I want to say thank you so much for your faithfulness to love and care for these people and to pray for them. So we invite you, watch this, pray for these people, pray for us, pray for Musumba, and let's see what the Lord does. Thank you for your time, and may the Lord bless you, and we will talk to you soon.